you may have noticed that you do not have the ability not to think. This is the condition every person on the planet shares, unless awakened. And it's actually considered the normal condition. A person wouldn't even notice it as a condition unless thinking gets out of hand and becomes a bit too repetitive or aggressive or self-hating. And then it be defined as unpleasant. Usually it's just, this is how a person thinks life is. It's the normal condition. But it's very much not our natural state. We are actually made of silence. We're made of a field of self-knowing which is in a condition of unbreakable peace, joy, and freedom, which is nothing other than our condition when we realize a life not through thinking. Are you able not to think? Have you come to notice it? The question that arises here is why? Why actually? Why one cannot stop thinking? Why is this the condition of every person in the world if actually our innate state is one of silence? And the answer to that is that before we know our deeper self, all we have is the mind. We are fully identified with the mind in lack of another option, and the mind is nothing other than the movement of thinking. So how could we not think if that's all we have? In fact, our ego, which is the mind that says me, that calls himself me, couldn't even conceive of the notion of not having thinking. It's all he knows. For him, which is for us, before awakening, not thinking would mean death. It's better to have an unpleasant thinking than death from the position of the ego. But that's of course not the way things are. The result of this way of living is somewhere between superficial and very unpleasant. Because what we see as life is whatever the mind brings to us, whatever it floats up. He constantly interprets everything. And if that interpretation is pleasant, then we are fine. If that interpretation is unpleasant, we are not fine. And if that interpretation is very unpleasant, then we can be in a state of tormention. We have no other choice. All we have is the mind. Can we change it? Is there a solution to this? Absolutely, yes. Not only there is a solution to it, that solution doesn't require reaching something new or something mysterious or acquiring something or even removing something. We don't even need to remove the mind. All we need is to discover things as they truly are already. Just need to meet ourselves and understand that we live in silence as silence. The result of this realization is a condition of unbroken well-being. It's peace, joy, and freedom, and it's not even something special. It's just who we are. It's what life is, other than the mind. And how is it done? If it's that attainable, there is a practical, step-by-step way to do it, a grounded, sober, methodical way, and it revolves around shifting our identity, our identification, from the mind to that deeper place. Initially, we don't know that deeper essence, that soul. Part of it is to discover it. So we need to disentangle ourselves from the mind. Initially, we're completely entangled, and shift into that deeper identity, which we need to discover. It's done like this. First is to realize the initial condition, the predicament, which is part of what we're doing now. Not necessarily pleasant, but we need to confront it. And from that point, we start in a practice of changing our habitual participation with whatever the mind brings, automatic reactivity, with watching. The mind is thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. Usually, whatever it gives, we are immediately taking it on, even if we argue with it, doesn't matter. We are seeing it as the truth to deal with. Now we are doing something completely different. We are letting those manifestations come and go, they always come and go, and we're just watching them as they come, stay, and leave. The culmination of this practice of seeing the various changing objects is to discover the subject. And we discover something very interesting. That subject doesn't change. It doesn't go. It doesn't, unlike every object which does, the subject is always there. He is the unchanging, untainted, untouched host of everything that happens in our field of awareness, in our mind. When we properly embody that subjectivity, that sense of self, which is the subject, we can discover a condition which we can call no thinking, where we so much feel our field of awareness with our own presence that there's no place for the mind. And this is an important thing to understand. The mind doesn't exist by itself. The mind has to have us to exist. A thought is there because we are a subject to it. And if we don't leave any of our consciousness to leak into that movement, unless we choose to, we just are ourselves. That is a very transformative condition to be, where we can say that we are real, but there is yet a deeper state. We are not free at this stage. The grand prize, our natural state of freedom, is when we not only realize that deeper way of being, the deeper identity, we discover that this silence that we are is all that we are. We are not sharing the stage with the identity of thinking, the ego which we are accustomed to live through. We discover that we are that silence, and life is silence. We discover something absurdly simple and yet so transformative. We discover that we live in a quiet world. That thinking that we live through is a superimposition. It's an option. We can choose to think or not. We can choose to take the advices we are being given in our head or not. It has nothing to do whether we take that advice or not, by the way, to who we are. We are the silent host of whatever is happening. And when we realize that this is all we are, we become free. The result, again, is a condition of unbreakable peace and joy, and yet this is nothing special. It's like waking up in the morning out of a horrible nightmare, and you don't think, wow, what an amazing way to be. This is just where you are, and you are the contrast. You are very happy getting out of that nightmare, but what you discover is just nothing out of the normal. It's just who you are. That is the state of freedom. That's who you are right now. So the answer to the question, why can't we stop thinking, is because we have no other choice as long as we are fully identified with the mind. But that identification can certainly change, because that's not our natural state. And it can change because it's who we are, because it's already in us. It's in you right now. All you need to do is disbelieve that mind, to break that contract of inherent belief you live through all your life. It's very doable, and I have no doubt that with the correct measures of practice and dedication, you can reach that natural condition.